Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be fixing this Minolta Hi-Matic 7. So right now, let me demonstrate. Here I'm trying to demonstrate the shutter not working, as well as I adjust the shutter speed and clean the lens a little bit, just trying to make it a little clearer that the shutter's not working. That's the problem. You can see that the shutter is not moving. Anyway, short version, that's what we're looking for. Or that's the problem. The shutter is not working. So the first step is removing the outer ring. I try to use some needle pliers. Those don't work, so I switch to screwdrivers. I have to find the right one, so it takes a second to find the right one. The proper tool is a lens spanner. I don't have one. I'll probably get one after this because this didn't really work well. It was very difficult with this. So it takes me a while because for some reason this one was on very tight, and that's very unfortunate and not really a good sign. It means everything's kind of seized up or gotten really dirty. This is me trying, and I keep trying it, and then eventually I will use some lighter fluid to clean around it, and that I guess seemed to help. I had gotten it to kind of start moving. Yeah, right here I get it moving ever so slightly. But anyway, so the other thing I was going to explain is what causes the shutter stick, and that is the oils will leak out from the lens and accumulate on the shutter until it eventually stops functioning. Yeah, here I am using the some lighter fluid to try to clean it out, and eventually that's what allows it to get unstuck. So yeah. Okay, so had to clean it with some lighter fluid, and then had to use a lot of force. So ideally you'd have a wrench spanner or a lens spanner. I do not, and maybe I will buy one after this because this one was very stuck on there. They're not supposed to be that difficult to get off, so that's not a good sign. That is not good. So anyway, there's that. The next step is removing the meter and the spacer behind it. The best way is kind of dump it out and just kind of wiggle it out and be careful with the wires. I clean the ring from the previous step. And then I'll try to use pliers to remove the lens element. I don't really recommend this. It kind of mangled the sides a little bit. So best thing is to use the lens spanner. So that's what I recommend, or some tool like that. All right, my hand was in the way. I was just threading that out. The back side looks fairly clean. The front needs a good cleaning. It's set for a long time without a lens cover on it, so it's very dirty. Or a lens cap on it. I will probably 3D print one, but you can see it doesn't really do anything. I'm getting brass out of there. That's interesting. What the heck is that? That's interesting. Okay, so all right, now is the important part. So you see the shutter's not working. So let's slow that down to like a fourth of a second, something like that. And then we will take our lighter fluid, put a smidge on. Oop, that wasn't too much. Well, I spill it everywhere. And then gently kind of, and then try to actuate it. No? Okay, I'll try a little more. Very gentle here. See if this fixes it. Well, that's very interesting. Okay. Oh. Okay, it opened, but it's not closing now. What in the world? I don't know what that was about. Well, okay, now it's working. Okay, I don't know why that would took it a second to quite start working. We'll put a little more on there, make sure it's, as I said, it's caused by excessive oil. The settings are seem off, and inside there is a lot. All right, now I'm gonna use a little compressed air, make sure it's dry. Well, make sure it's dry. We'll actuate a few more times. Let me put it on bulb mode. Okay, this is interesting. Why are we not moving? It looks like the other side is having has something on the back, so that'll be something to clean in a bit, but so you want to use something that dries quickly. That's why a lot of people use the lighter fluid. And now the part to reassemble. Actually, first let me clean at least the outside part of that. So here I'm cleaning the lens element. Not probably the best way, and I'm not sure if I just didn't do it quite right or if that it was already damaged, because there were already some spots on the outside edge. Not overly important because the front element usually doesn't impact, like you won't really notice if there's something on there, like scratches and stuff. Not that you really want them, I'm not saying that's something you want, but it shouldn't overly impact the image quality too much. More worried about is that there was dirt inside, and I'll have to clean that as well as clean the rangefinder. But anyways, I didn't do this because it's not really relevant to fixing the shutter too much, so that was kind of why this is sped up fairly quickly. So yeah, it's not overly important, and just me trying to clean it with different tools and stuff. Anyway, here I'm moving back to actually screwing it in, so you kind of just gently screw in the lens element to it. I know I'm blocking it a fair amount. I'm trying to just gently screw it in. I was having trouble getting it to thread in, so eventually I got it seated. I just use a screwdriver very gently to try to tighten it. Not too tight. It's not supposed to be super tight. This one was kind of tight. That's why I use the pliers, but it's not supposed to be. Here I'm trying to get it seated. You have to get that metal piece, which is the film speed selector, in it, and there's a little gap on the outer barrel that you're supposed to line up, and mine had gotten shifted, so I was trying to move that around. There I get it in, but I'm trying to get the plastic spacer in and had trouble with that, so I ended up taking it back out. Try to put the spacer in first, then try to put the meter back in. So eventually did put the meter in and eventually slid the spacer under it. So that's what I'm doing here, is getting the spacer under there. So one of the key things, you want it to be flush, and I was trying to make sure it was. So the spacer looked like it wasn't quite seated right. Apparently it was, as far as I can tell. So you want this piece to be level. This doesn't look like it's seated quite right. Maybe that is how it's supposed to be seated. I don't know. Yeah, so you want this piece to be pretty level, and it looks fairly level to me. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting that other ring in. So I'm about to reinstall that outer ring. So I'm gonna use a little more lighter fluid to clean that inside part. Again, it was still kind of dirty and corroded, and this didn't fully clean it off. Then I'm also gonna clean up that ring as well, especially the threads, trying to get them clean. And then it took me a second to kind of get the threads in there correctly. It took a few tries to get them to thread in correctly. And then once I got it going, I got them threaded in and going. It wasn't too bad. I didn't get it too tight. I got it kind of tight enough. It was kind of my goal, and I tried cleaning it because it looks dirty. I don't know why, as well as the tools I was using marred it up a little bit, unfortunately. So the proper lens spanner is kind of an important tool, I think. So it's not supposed to be super tight. Yeah, so probably do a little tighter, but probably about that. Yeah.
Call that good.
I'm just trying to clean up the outer bit of the lens again, and then my light's coming off, so that's why there's a break.
Sorry about that. Had some light cut out.
So anyway, so this is my now functioning Minolta Hi-Matic 7. Not an S, it's just a Hi-Matic. But yeah. Well, my light's cutting out, so we'll call that good here. I'm sure a lot of this will be sped up. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope this helps. I know there's a lot of videos on there. I was just going to do some quick one on it.